Hello friends, a special hello to my new construction clients. I wanted to do this video because there's a lot happening with the new construction homes and I wanted you all to be on the same page as um, me. I have the benefit of multiple experiences with multiple builders and multiple clients. And of course, you know only about your own home. So I wanted to run by a few things with you, and so we all stay vigilant while your home in construction is, in process, all the way until settlement. So I want to start with the market right now. This is December 2020. COVID has impacted supply chains. All the builders are going nuts. Since there was such a low inventory on the market, the new construction sales have boomed because they had homes to sell and they want any other homes to buy. So I have a proportionately high number of new construction sales this year, but the builders are just going berserk. I sent some of you some links to show how crazy the market has been. So the question is, you're under contract. What are we going to do to protect our best interests and make sure we're, staying vigilant? So my first thing to you is I sent you a buyer's roadmap. So depending on where you are in the process, take a look at the roadmap, and that is just steps that you need to follow. In the beginning, it'll just be a couple of updates every week or every other week from your project manager, who will call and let you know this was done, that was done, that was done. Concrete was poured, frame is coming up. Roof was put on today, or whatever it is. So those updates are great. Keep an eye on them. I know many of you swing by your homes anyway. Yeah, technically it's a construction zone. You're not supposed to be doing it, but I do recommend that if you're going to be there in that area, or if, just for personal reasons, to take pictures or to show it to your friends or whatever. Be safe, be distant. It's a hard at area. Don't take your kids and little ones. But do keep an eye on what's going on in that home, because the project manager at this point is inundated. Their subcontractor supply chain has been completely affected. Even the township visits are impacted because of COVID, and everybody is going a little nuts with the volume of business that they're doing. So it is up to us to be vigilant and stay in touch with what's going on with your home. So if it's in the initial stages and they're pouring foundation and you're like, well, this place was supposed to have windows and it doesn't have windows, or you walk into and you see the framing and they're like, oh, they put in a fireplace, but I didn't request a fireplace. Or, you know, uh, it, little things like, this is all before the pre-drywall meeting. You're going to have two walkthroughs with the project manager. You are entitled to have those walkthroughs. One is the pre-drywall walkthrough and one is the pre-settlement walkthrough. And I do show up for those. So feel free to reach out to me. I try and make it to most of them. I'm not an expert. I do recommend inspectors, but those walkthroughs are important just to see what's going on with your home. Like, is there a ceiling wire, pre-wire for a fan or a chandelier? Or did they put in the recessed lights where they said they were supposed to? Are there enough electric outlets or the Cat5 cables that you had ordered? Those things are important. If you stop by the house, you will be able to see, because you're keeping an eye on only one home. Remember, the project manager is dealing with a lot of homes, and we are all human and we all make mistakes. um, if there is something significant that isn't done, bring it to my attention. Bring it to first bring it to the project manager's attention. If they're not addressing it, definitely bring it to my attention, and we'll try and do something about it. um, the next step, about 2 months before, and this is where the crunch time is for many of you who are under contract right now, is when they tell you that the settlement is going to happen. Mid-February, end of January, early November, whatever it is, they give you a date, a time frame, and that is when there are a lot of things that come into play. First is you got to get working on your mortgage. Um, the second thing is choose your title company if you haven't done it already. I typically recommend the builder's title. Oftentimes, the builder's given an incentive for your loan as well. So the loan is also with the builder. It sort of is easier for those three entities to interact if there are issues in the end. So it is best to keep it all in house. But if you don't have any incentives for the lender, and even if you do, feel free to shop around for the mortgage. There are two things you're comparing for the mortgage. One is the interest rate, and the second is the fees that the lender is charging you. Sometimes they charge points for a better interest rate. So those are the only two things that are actually flexible. Everything else is pretty standard. It will be as is. You don't really have a say in the matter. So focus on those two things, the interest rate and what the lender is charging you for the business. And lock in your mortgage rate. You are welcome to shop around and lock it in. Talk to me if you have any questions about the mortgage. That should be the easy part. The rates are phenomenal right now, which is part of the reason why there's such a huge boom in real estate. The other piece is that is when you should have been doing your walkthroughs. So that pre-settle these walkthroughs, I just had a client recently who where the project manager just um, threw the walkthrough on them like all of a sudden, like he was just visiting the home and the project manager just started taking them around and saying, okay, this was your walkthrough. That's not how it is supposed to be. They're supposed to give you advance notice. They're supposed to walk you through the home. But like I said, everybody is having issues, and the project managers are just inundated. I had a client recently who had to settle without a certificate of occupancy. Their settlement was pushed back 3 weeks. That is the other thing I'm coming to. But before that, you will be scheduling a few things, the delivery of your appliances or your furniture, or securing movers to move your home and all that, or giving notices to your current landlords for rentals. Just allow a little bit of buffer. If they have told you middle of February, do not give your landlord notice that you're going to be out of there by middle of February. Allow yourself a few weeks of back and forth. I don't know how many of you read your contracts, but the builder has 2 years in which to be able to deliver your home. So if we go back and object and say, oh, you delayed my settlement by 3 weeks or whatever, now I want to be compensated for the 3 extra weeks of rent, not going to happen. They've built all these uncertainties into their contracts. So don't even, go there. Save yourself that anxiety. So the last few days or like couple of weeks is what I'm going to talk about right now, which is the most important part, which is where the anxiety levels are really high. The inspections in an ideal world are supposed to happen, like the outside inspector is supposed to come in only when the house is mostly finished. And only the project manager can give you an update on, yes, are we ready for the home inspector or not? Because you don't want the home inspector making notes of some stupid little stuff which the project manager hasn't finished yet. So when the house is complete is when the inspector comes in. And once the inspector gives his report that day or the next day, you send it over to the project manager. And any issues that were found in the report, he needs to be able to fix. And so ideally, after 3 days, when you're having your walkthrough, your final walkthrough with the project manager has fixed everything that was in the report, right? That's in an ideal world. This doesn't happen all the time. And if at the time of the final walkthrough for the project manager, which usually happens a week or so before settlement, sometimes 5 days before settlement, sometimes 3 days before settlement, if there is a punch list of things that needed to be fixed, we want to make sure that they are written in that paperwork that they make you sign. They will have you sign something at the end of the settlement walkthrough, the pre-settlement walkthrough, that says, okay, the house is ready and I'm good to go. If something is not ready, it needs to be written in that piece of paper. Otherwise, the warranty thing after settlement might be elongated. Most people want to do the right thing, but that just protects you. If you don't have anything in writing, it's difficult to protect later if they don't do it later. So make sure what you sign is important. Their goal is to not have a laundry list of things, clearly, because that goes to upper management, and that's not going to look very good for the project manager. So he's going to make sure that nothing is written there, or very few things are written there. But it is in your best interest to put anything that is not finished over there. And of course, you can play it by now the house is not clean. Well, I won't worry about that. He will fix that. But if the window is missing or something, we definitely need it there. The other thing is the mortgage part of it. So that is the project manager and the inspections and then the timeline. The mortgage part also, there are so many things that happen last minute. Your employment has to be verified. Your credit score has to be verified. The underwriters have to go through the file. With the crazy market that we have right now, you send an underwriter file that for a project that's for February, he's not even looking at it right now. So unfortunately, that's also still very last minute, and we just have to deal with it. So I have a situation currently where we're clearly waiting for a clear to close from an investor who's going to be buying that loan, and we don't have it. This is Friday afternoon. We're supposed to settle 12 o'clock Monday morning, and I don't have that yet. So we have to be prepared for that eventuality that we may have to push it back to Tuesday or Wednesday. Now, if you've scheduled everything for that week, that's going to be a nightmare. So going back to my earlier point, please do not schedule your deliveries this close. Allow for a little overlap time for that. Even the title company, some settlements like the NBR settlements are happening in Bluebell. Some toll settlements may happen in Licita. Some may happen on site on the at the model house. The person who's coming there is only a notary. She knows nothing about your house. She knows nothing about the numbers. She knows nothing about the title. She is just someone who's paid like $50 to just come and get your signatures. And she understands the paperwork. She may be able to explain them to you, but all she has to do is notarize what you've signed, and she's a witness to the signatures. So there's too many other floating pieces to the puzzle. The lender will won't be able to give you the final CD 3 days before settlement. The title will give you the final alta maybe a day or two before settlement. And I go over that alta with you, so we will go over the numbers line by line. The lender should go over the numbers in the CD line by line, and those two should match technically. The check is always made to the title companies, and it has to be a cashier's check. It cannot be a personal check. If you're doing a wire transfer, here is a major, major asterisk, guys. Wire transfer frauds are very rampant. You've been getting emails from my office also. Do not be very, very careful if you're transferring money. Pick up the phone and make sure that those instructions are correct, and then send them. After you've sent them, pick up the phone and make sure you send them to the right place and they acknowledge receipt. Um, it's these days accounts get hacked. You get an email last minute that looks like it may be coming from me or from the title person saying, "Oh, send it to this routing number." Do not please trust those emails. Remember that that's a very important factor. The other thing about um, uh, the numbers is like the final CD number and the final alta number should be matched. And if for any reason you bring extra funds to the title company, the numbers change slightly or whatever, and then you're bringing more money than you were supposed to, don't worry. You will get the check for the balance right back. They will give it back to you. They won't be able to do it at settlement, but they'll be sending it back to you. And this is the title company. They're very reliable. Please don't worry about bringing extra funds. So if you have this situation where you have money in an investment account and you're supposed to be ordering it like 5 days in advance and you still don't have your final numbers, you can round it off to the next highest number. And if you've sent a few $100s extra or a few $1,000s extra, don't worry about it. The title company will return your money. I hope that's helpful as well. So as you're working with the project manager, as you're working with the lender's rep and the title rep, remember they all want to make you happy. So my job here was to just give you a heads up on what the process is, what's coming up next. I know I talk with you all individually, but in case I miss something, because if you were addressing dryers and I forgot to talk about the wire transfer, or if we are talking about the certificate of occupancy and I forgot to talk about washer dryer, I just wanted it all in one video so that we are on the same page. The project manager has a survey, the salesperson has a survey, and those surveys are important to them. And they're gonna all try and make you happy. So don't worry, at the end of the day, you're gonna get a beautiful home that you're gonna love and make lots of memories, and I promise you, this is, yes, there is a lot of anxiety and uncertainty in the last few weeks, but that's just the nature of the beast. At the end of the day, I don't have any client who was totally unhappy or we weren't able to fix whatever needed to be fixed for them. Ultimately, everybody loves their new construction home and enjoys it and makes wonderful memories in it. So remember, through all of this, I'm still here at every stage. Feel free to ask me any questions, but I just wanted to give you the heads up on all the craziness that's happening out there, and uh, you know, hope that you are not embroiled in one of them. If yours is a smooth settlement, hey, more power to you. You're one of the lucky ones. Take care. I'm still here.